In the annals of history, the Salem Witch Trials stand as a chilling testament to the perils of unchecked fear and superstition. Amidst the chaos and paranoia that gripped Salem village in 1692, one figure emerges from the shadows, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Tituba, an enslaved woman whose life and testimony would forever be entwined with this dark chapter in American history. Her story, often relegated to the periphery, is one of resilience, manipulation, and the enduring power of societal biases. Tituba's origins remain shrouded in mystery, her early life a tapestry woven from fragments of information and speculation. What is known is that she was enslaved, likely of South American Indian descent, and brought to Barbados, where she was eventually purchased by Samuel Parris, a merchant turned minister. With Parris, she journeyed to the burgeoning colony of Massachusetts, carrying with her the traditions and beliefs of her homeland, a world away from the rigid piety of Puritan New England. Tituba's presence in the Parris household added a layer of cultural complexity to the already tense atmosphere of Salem village. The Puritan community, deeply suspicious of anything that deviated from their strict religious doctrines, viewed Tituba and her unfamiliar practices with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. Little did they know that this enslaved woman, thrust into their midst by the currents of history, would become a central figure in the unfolding drama that would forever stain the soul of Salem. Tituba's life in Salem was a far cry from the lush landscapes and vibrant cultures of her South American homeland. Enslaved in the Parris household, she performed a multitude of tasks, caring for the children, tending to domestic chores, and serving as a constant presence in the lives of her enslavers. Her days were a stark contrast to the relative freedom she had experienced in Barbados, where enslaved people often had opportunities to earn money and even purchase their freedom. The Puritan society into which Tituba was thrust was one steeped in religious fervor and governed by a rigid moral code. The community lived in constant fear of sin and damnation, their lives dictated by the rhythms of prayer, work, and the ever-present threat of eternal punishment. Within this austere environment, Tituba's presence, along with her stories and customs, stood out as an anomaly, a source of both fascination and suspicion. The Parris household, far from being a haven of peace and piety, was a cauldron of simmering tensions. Reverend Parris, a man of ambition and a fiery temperament, was embroiled in constant disputes with his parishioners, his authority challenged and his sermons met with dissent. Amidst this atmosphere of discord, Tituba navigated the treacherous waters of servitude, her life intertwined with the fortunes of a family teetering on the brink of chaos. The events that would plunge Salem into a maelstrom of paranoia and accusation began in the winter of 1692, when a group of young girls, including Reverend Parris's daughter Abigail, began to exhibit strange and disturbing behaviors. They suffered from fits, contortions, and outbursts of unintelligible speech, their afflictions baffling both physicians and clergymen alike. In the absence of a rational explanation, the community turned to the supernatural, whispering fears of witchcraft and demonic possession. As the girls' afflictions grew more dramatic, pressure mounted to identify the source of their torment. Under intense scrutiny, and perhaps fueled by their own fears and fantasies, the girls began to accuse individuals within the community of bewitching them. Tituba, along with two other marginalized women, Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne, became the prime suspects, their outsider status and perceived vulnerabilities marking them as easy targets for the accusations of the afflicted girls. When confronted with the accusations, Tituba did something unexpected. She confessed. Whether driven by fear, coercion, or a desire to appease her accusers, Tituba's confession sent shockwaves through Salem village. In vivid detail, she described encounters with the devil, implicating others in the community, and weaving a narrative of witchcraft that played upon the deepest fears and prejudices of the Puritan community. Her words, imbued with the weight of both confession and accusation, ignited a firestorm of paranoia that would consume Salem and leave an indelible mark on the annals of history. Tituba's trial, held in March 1692, was a spectacle that drew crowds eager to witness the unraveling of what they believed to be a sinister conspiracy. The courtroom, packed with anxious onlookers, became a stage upon which the fears and prejudices of Puritan society played out. Tituba, once an enslaved woman toiling in obscurity, found herself at the center of a drama that would determine the fate of Salem. During her examination, Tituba recounted her alleged encounters with the devil, describing him in vivid detail and claiming that he had appeared to her in the company of other witches from the community. Her testimony, a blend of Puritan beliefs and elements of her own cultural background, resonated with the anxieties of her accusers and the court, confirming their darkest suspicions about the presence of evil in their midst. Whether Tituba's confession was a desperate attempt to save herself or a calculated manipulation of the situation, it had a profound impact on the course of the Salem Witch Trials. Her words, imbued with the authority of a confessed witch, lent credence to the accusations of the afflicted girls and fueled the flames of paranoia that were rapidly engulfing the community. Tituba's trial, a spectacle of fear and superstition, marked a turning point in the Salem Witch Trials, setting the stage for a wave of accusations, imprisonments, and executions that would terrorize the community for months to come. Tituba's confession had a ripple effect throughout Salem and beyond. Her vivid descriptions of witchcraft and her accusations against others fueled the growing hysteria, creating a climate of fear and suspicion where neighbors turned against neighbors and accusations flew like wildfire. The court, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of accusations, struggled to separate truth from fantasy, relying heavily on spectral evidence, testimony based on dreams and visions, which further blurred the lines between reality and delusion. As the trials progressed, the circle of accusations widened, ensnaring individuals from all walks of life. Prominent citizens, social outcasts, and even young children found themselves caught in the web of suspicion. The jails overflowed with accused witches, their lives hanging in the balance as the community grappled with the terrifying possibility that the devil himself was walking among them. The Salem Witch Trials, fueled by Tituba's initial confession and the contagious nature of fear, spiraled out of control. The community, gripped by paranoia and fueled by religious extremism, abandoned reason and justice in their pursuit of rooting out the perceived threat of witchcraft. The trials, a dark stain on American history, serve as a chilling reminder of the dangers of mass hysteria, the destructive power of unchecked accusations, and the fragility of justice in the face of fear. The Salem Witch Trials cast a long shadow over American history, their legacy a haunting reminder of the dangers of religious extremism, mass hysteria, and the persecution of the innocent. The events of 1692 continue to fascinate and horrify, serving as a cautionary tale about the fragility of reason and the destructive power of fear. In the aftermath of the trials, there was a gradual recognition of the injustices that had been committed. The court's reliance on spectral evidence and the coerced confessions of accused witches were called into question, and efforts were made to restore the reputations of those who had been wrongly accused. However, the scars of that dark period remained, etched into the collective memory of Salem and the nation. The Salem Witch Trials serve as a stark reminder of the importance of critical thinking, due process, and the protection of individual rights. They highlight the dangers of allowing fear and superstition to dictate public policy, and the importance of safeguarding the vulnerable from scapegoating and persecution. The lessons of Salem, though rooted in a specific time and place, resonate throughout history, reminding us of the ever-present need to guard against the forces of intolerance, fanaticism, and the abuse of power.